Daddy eats lots. Daddy eats lots. Daddy eats lots. Munch, munch, munch.
Hello and welcome to Daddy Eats Last, where we discuss the challenges of being a man in modern society and whatever the hell that even means. I've given Ryan and Maddie the evening off because they are not in stage 4 restrictions like Melbourne has been put in today, but I do have a very special guest. What should I call you? Should I call you my partner? Should I call you my wife?
Oh, wife? Why not? That's the official...
We've been official for a while now, so I have my wife joining me tonight, and we're going to discuss what Stage 4 restrictions means for us down here in Melbourne. They were announced today by Dan Andrews, and today was all about the personal restrictions, so they've already come into effect. And then tomorrow, being Monday, when this podcast will actually be released, so it's today, he'll be discussing what business restrictions will come in. The personal restrictions also mentioned probably something which will affect us a fair bit, it's fair to say.
Yep.
Being that kinder is no longer going to be, be provided from midweek. So we have Monday and Tuesday where the little fella goes off to kinder, and then Wednesday we're by ourselves.
It's game on.
It is game on for a 6-week period apparently. And we're not counting.
Not at all. But we've got 2 days to do as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, we thought what would be really valuable tonight on Daddy Eats Last is to actually go through our planning process, some of the things we're thinking about, given that we now have to get through a 6-week period with having a kid at home. We run a business as well together. We're both in the business. We run a household. We've got the little fella who'll be home 24/7 for the next 42-ish days. So you do like a good plan, don't you?
I do like a good plan.
And so we've been adding things to our list this afternoon since Dan released this on Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
Well, you were asleep. You were having a nap when this was released, weren't you?
I was having a nap after some Zoom drinks that went quite late last night. So I was feeling a little tired, and I'm kind of thankful in a way that I wasn't there to listen to the whole thing live, because I probably would be feeling a lot more anxious after hearing it live than I already am. But anyway, it is what it is.
How are you feeling? Well, I know how you're feeling, but tell the listeners how you're feeling.
I think the no kinder thing, as you said, is the biggest one. I'm feeling okay at the moment. I don't think it's really hit me. When lockdown 2.0 was first announced here in Melbourne,
that was when we went to stage 3, because we're now at 3.0.
Yeah, I'm calling this 3.0. I felt horrific when it was announced, and I thought, oh my God, there's going to be no kinder. How are we going to do this? It's tax season because we run an accounting firm. We're going to be busy with work. My mum's birthday was coming up, which was
70th birthday.
Yeah, so it was an O. So that was celebrated via FaceTime. And it took me a day or two to get over that one. Maybe because I felt that quite bad. I'm not feeling as bad this time at the moment. But maybe wait and ask me this time next week.
Probably by Wednesday afternoon. Well, I think that's the thing. Like we've been discussing this for weeks, because we've been religiously watching the press conferences when Dan's been having press conferences, and also going via the data. And we live in an area where it's not a hotspot. There's cases around here, but they're primarily linked to an aged care facility in our area. So there's not a lot of cases, but we still watch the data every day. So we've been fairly well across what's been happening in this space. So it wasn't really a surprise when this happened, but it's still a bit of a surprise, that, especially kinder now. And I said this is the only thing which will affect us is if kinder is closed, and it now turns out that they're going to be closed.
Yeah, so our little man is 4.5, and he has been going to kinder for the last 3 weeks. So he will have got in 3.5 weeks of term 3.
And loves it.
So that's the really, really, really hard part. And we don't just say that because we're trying to, make it better than it is. He actually genuinely loves it. Like Saturday morning, he's like, oh, when does kinder go back? And it's like, oh, it's the weekend now, buddy. Like, we've got 2 days of the weekend, and then kinder's back on Monday. little did we know that things will have changed, and we haven't yet told him, because he loves it and it's really stimulating for him. He loves the teachers. He loves all the friends he's made. He only started there at the beginning of the year, and yeah, I think he is going to find it hard.
Lockdown 1.0, he was difficult. He
lost his shizzle a lot.
He found it really hard. Like, without that structure and I guess that stimulation, we can only do so much. And I think we try really hard, as a lot of parents do. We try really hard to, play along with his imaginary games and give him the time that he needs. But it's just not the same as hanging out with a whole bunch of kids your own age who've got the same sort of enthusiasm and creativity and wanting to learn stuff. So, like, as much as we try, we can't replicate kinder. Yeah,
I mean, it'll be interesting how we approach it this time. We tried a lot of different things last time. Maybe, I'm not sure how we'll go about it. Maybe we'll work through that as we go through tonight. But, yeah, he lost his rag a lot in lockdown 1.0. How long were we in lockdown 1.0 though? Like 11 weeks or something, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was a long time. So,
we haven't even told him yet, because we haven't told him, because it only happened today. So we're going to pick the right time over the next day to tell him. We don't know when that's going to be and how we're going to communicate that. So something we'll have to still workshop.
Actually thinking just before, we might have to tell him before we take him tomorrow morning, because I wouldn't be surprised when we're standing in the queue for drop-off tomorrow, socially distanced, with a mask, before he gets his temperature taken and his hand sanitizer applied. Someone might bring it up, like one of the other parents. So I actually think we might have to go over breakfast tomorrow morning.
So I think it's better that if we had done it tonight, he probably would have, he may not have slept very well. Because even the last time, the night before, where we were talking about what we're going to do on Saturday, and we mentioned scones before bed. And he's up at 5:30. I said, I've walked in at like about 5:45 and go, oh, buddy, it's pretty early. Can you get back to sleep? He goes, is it time to make scones yet? So probably best we didn't tell him before bed.
Yeah, he would have been pretty devastated.
But anyway, we have been doing a bit of a list of things we have been considering just today, and we'll probably work on this in the next couple of days before it goes live at 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning. I don't know where the best place to start is, but I guess when we were in version 1.0 of lockdown, like, we were pretty structured around learning and what home kinder looked like, and then TV time and a window timetable. Like, we tried to, you tried especially to do a window timetable of what the little fellow's going to do each day.
Yeah, so I found somewhere on the internet all these different activities, and then I would blue tack them to the window. So it would be like breakfast, get dressed, play, TV, outdoor play, numeracy. Like, it was quite specific, and then it'd have like snack time, lunch time, rest time, etc. I'm not sure it really worked. I'm thinking maybe we just this time let him decide more what he does. Like, the last couple of afternoons, and touch wood this continues, he has got up from his rest, because he's not sleeping anymore in the afternoon. Very convenient timing. But anyway, he will still lie down for at least an hour in his room. So, in his bed. So the last 2 days he's got up and he has wanted to do Play-Doh.
Self-play.
And he has done it for an hour and 20 minutes-ish.
Yeah.
Which, for all the parents out there, you'd be going, winning.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, last time, like, we were trying to replicate the structure of kinder. Like, it was, here's your schedule, this is what we're going to do, here's learning, here's your TV time. Because he'll generally watch 20 minutes of TV in the morning and 20 minutes of TV in the afternoon. I don't know what our intention is from Wednesday. Whether this, I don't know if they have screen time for when you turn the television off, like you do on your iPhone. Your viewing's been up, 110% this week. I don't know what this is going to look like, but whether we're going to be a bit more lenient. I don't watch much TV myself. He watches his little bits and pieces. I don't like the idea of plonking in front of a screen. But I think, it's a unique time. So I don't think we'll be plonking him in front of the TV, but we might be a little bit more lenient about, okay, you can have one more show.
Yeah, maybe especially in the afternoon if things are getting a bit ratty and it's 4:30. We've been trying to get him to wait till sort of, 20 to 5.
Just before dinner.
Just while we get dinner ready. It works well, and then he watches sort of 2 shows that are sort of about 10 minutes, 12 minutes long, and then it's straight up for dinner. So whether we maybe make that a bit earlier, I don't know. We've all got to survive. And by 4:30, we might all be a bit spent.
Yeah, I think it depends on what he watches as well. Like, he kind of watches, he likes Octonauts and Paw Patrol mainly. If he said, I want to watch Play School, I'd probably be inclined to go, okay, Play School goes for 30 minutes, Paw Patrol goes for 20 minutes. You can watch Play School for sure, but he's not at that stage where he doesn't know the marshmallow test. If here's one marshmallow, if you wait 10 minutes, you can have 2 marshmallows. Like, if I go, you can watch 30 minutes of TV or 20 minutes of TV and 30 minutes longer, he'll still take the 20 because it's what he wants to watch.
It's funny because even in the morning though, like, if he'll just want to, it's like he just wants his fix, and he's quite happy to watch one Octonauts, which is 12 minutes, and then he'll literally just get up and he turns the TV off at the power and comes running through the playroom. Like, so it's just a matter of, it's just about giving him his dose, like his injection of TV, and then he's kind of right for the rest of the day. But if you don't give him that, like, 15 minutes or 12 minutes or 24 minutes, which is 2 Octonauts.
It's part of his routine, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll talk about it all morning. But if you just let him do it after he's got dressed, it's like it's never spoken about until dinner time again. So, which is quite good. We'll probably keep that going, I guess.
Yeah. I know in lockdown version 1.0, you got some feedback from other people, maybe in some mothers groups, around what they were doing for some of their kids around the learning stuff, like basically structured lessons. But that didn't really work for us the first time around. We're not going to do that again, are we? Like, obviously, you need some things which he needs to learn, but it's not like he goes to kinder and they sit down and do maths and English. They go and look at a bug or put an eyedropper into some ice. And we did some experiments the first time around, which he quite liked.
Yeah. Look, for anyone out there who knows him, he's quite intense and sort of, he likes to be,
He's go, go, go.
He's go, go, go. His mind goes a million miles an hour. The demands on the activities and the level of activities is quite high. Yes, last lockdown I was, cutting out things at 8:00 at night and printing off things and gathering together, Mexican-themed activities so we could make a Mexican hat because we were having Mexican Day.
We're not doing the days again, are we? Oh,
no.
Thank God for that. He still brings up the days.
I reckon he'll bring it up, though.
We go through the Atlas book and he's like, have I done Spain Day? I'm like, yeah, you've done Spain Day. Have I done Italy? Yeah, you've done that day too.
Yeah,
no more days left.
So lockdown 1.0, we did a lot of themed country days. And so we did French Day and you name it, we did it. So some of them were involved food and, cooking and different things like Tour de France, and he did painting, and we went on French Day, we went on a Tour de France, which was a bike ride, and we did painting, and he went to the patisserie down the road and got a croissant, and we sat outside and imagined that we were sitting in front of the Eiffel Tower on a rug eating said croissant.
We wouldn't be able to do that now, though. We won't be able to go around go around the corner because of the restrictions in place of actually being, only being able to do things explicitly for exercise, not for recreation as such. We can go for a walk with him, but we can't just potter around the shops, which is good because this is why COVID spread.
Yeah, so...
But even that'll be hard because he's used to doing just kind of pottering around the block.
And he'll quite like to go down the shops and just get a Paw Patrol drink.
the $2 shop drink.
Or Dippers, which is cheese and bickies. Or, go and get a muffin, which, I don't know, can we still do that? You're allowed to go and do shopping.
I think at the end of the walk you can. I think it's part of your exercise. You can stop and get a coffee on the way home, but not loiter. It's really trying to stop people just loitering and just being out in groups.
Yeah, so, and with for anyone who's not up with it, we're allowed to go and exercise for 1 hour per day outside of our house. And
within 5 kilometres?
Yeah, and with one other person who is from your household or not.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, but if you have kids, the kid is not counted as one of the people. So we've worked out that you and I can go for a walk with him, and that's okay because we can't leave him at home on his own.
Well, we could, but we'd be breaking a different law.
So,
well, that's the thing. Like, it's become so complex now. You have to kind of work through, can I do that? Instead of just the blanket, no, I can't. Like, it's almost become, I think that's where some of the confusions come about and why we're in this scenario in Victoria anyway, is that the communication, while it's been really clear, is also difficult to understand sometimes.
And we've also worked out that if you and I want to exercise independently on our own, like, you know, you like to go for a run, I like to go for a power walk, we can't on that same day then take little man for a walk.
Because we've both been outside.
Yeah. So it has to be one of us goes for a walk or a run for our exercise out of the house, and the other one takes him for his exercise if he's going to go out of the house.
We are on exercise. We're extremely lucky though, because I'm such a tight ass. A couple of years ago, I didn't want to pay for a gym membership anymore because, you know, it was about a 15-minute drive to a gym which was, you know, in the required membership fee band that I'd pay. So I got a cross trainer and put it in the garage. We're lucky enough again. We're really lucky. Like, in all honesty, like, we're extremely lucky. And I've managed to get a cross trainer in the garage and it fits just. So we have a cross trainer in the garage which we can use at any time. So I can get up at 5:30 and use it. We can use it at 5:30 at night, but we can use that. And then
probably not at 5:30 at night.
No, that is the witching hour. If I could jump on the cross trainer at 5:30 at night and skip dinner, can I?
Sure, can I?
Maybe we can put that on the roster. Yeah, but exercise, we're kind of lucky in that we can exercise. If it's bucketing down rain, we can exercise, you know, on the premises. And then, you know, if it's a sunny day, one of us can exercise on premise and then still take the little fella out for a walk.
And look, both of us like to exercise probably 6 times a week.
Every day.
Every day.
I need to go every day.
Yeah. Maybe one day off, but let's say every day we both like to exercise. So
that's all we've got. That's literally all we've got. We don't really go. Well, we haven't been going out for dinner. We haven't been out for a lunch or anything since like March.
Since our 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. But literally, like, exercise is kind of all that's our only sort of thing.
Yeah, that and work and kid life. And house stuff, I guess. And I like to do a Zoom class.
But
on Wednesday, which is cool.
Yeah, we can maintain our exercise, okay, and we can still, you know, adapt that around the little fella on a day-by-day basis, especially if he's at home. Like, you know, when he's at kinder, he doesn't really like to do much activity in the afternoon outside the house. But I can see on mornings, when he's going to be at home, he'll want to go for a walk or go for a ride or something. Yeah. And he quite enjoyed that in lockdown 1.0.
Yeah, it was like a daily thing. We used to go and look for the teddy bears that were in people's windows, and which was a thing down here. And yeah, he did like it. And, you know, we'd find birds in the trees, and then he got some binoculars and he'd pretend to look through the binoculars, the birds, and it was nice.
We just have to manage that. That's something we have to manage going forward, because we can't both go for a walk at, like, I get up at 6 o'clock and go for a run. Like, I do that probably every second day, and the other day I'll kind of muck around home. But for people out there who, you know, you want to be able to exercise around home and then still go for a walk to get some fresh air and do a little bit of exercise that way, there's plenty of things you can do at home. There's online yoga classes, there's online Pilates classes you can get for free. You know, there's, you know, 7-minute workout is a free app you can download on your phone. There's heaps of different ways you can do a workout in the house without actually having to A, pay money, and B, actually leave the confines of your house.
Yeah, I think it's Sam Woods doing the 28 by whatever it is.
Yeah, there's lots.
Yeah.
If you Google it or look it up on your phone, there's a whole bunch of different things. So you don't necessarily have to go outside and exercise anyway if you don't want to.
No.
There's plenty of things you can do, and this week in Melbourne is going to be a pretty ordinary week weather-wise. You're probably going to want to be inside.
I think our cross trainer will be getting a fair workout this week. There won't be much walking.
It certainly will, and that forms part of our adult time as well. Like I said, we don't get a lot of chop out. I've been pretty open on Daddy Eats Last before. We don't get a lot of chop outs from either set of parents.
No.
As she says with some trepidation, in case they're listening, we don't get. I've said it before. We don't get many chop outs, so it's not like we are frequent flyers out at night. Going to cocktail bars and having.
It was a goal of 2020, though.
Yeah, it was a goal.
That's flown out the window and far out to sea.
But we still got to try to maintain some adult time. Like how we both stay sane. Like I say, adult time independent of being with the other person and the kid. So
I'm going to go down the back and shut the door, maybe find a lock, and get my yoga mat and do half an hour of yoga and see how many times I get interrupted.
Yeah, I've got 3 words for you: noise suppression headphones. Or a godsend, and they're great for the adult time. I like listening to music, and there's only so many times that I can have the little fella just say we have a Google which was given to me like a couple of years ago for my birthday. How many times I can tolerate him saying to Google, "Hey Google, tell me a story," or "Hey Google, play the Wiggles," or something like that. So having the ability to put some noise suppression headphones on and listen to some adult music and have a little bit of adult independent time, I think is going to be very important over the next let's hope it's 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, but hopefully not 8 to 10 weeks.
Hopefully it doesn't go any longer than
This is my
6.
This is my worry. My worry is that people aren't going to go and get tested, and this is a bit off topic about the parenting stuff. My worry is people at home, I'm not going to bother to go get tested. I'm just at home. It's not like I need to go to work or go and do that. So I reckon the numbers will maybe look artificially low, will come out and, we'll get back to this spot again. Is my worry. I hope that's not the case.
I hope you're wrong.
So do I. Adult time, so yeah, being independent. And then I've got to be honest, version 1.0 of lockdown, my alcohol intake kind of mirrored the COVID graph. Like the more COVID went up, the more my alcohol intake kind of went up. And I'll be fair, the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks, it really flattened. Like I'd just be having a drink. We'd be having a wine on a Friday and a Saturday night, and that was it. There was no kind of sneaky midweek wines. I'm hopeful that I don't go back to old habits of, being in lockdown 3.0 and maybe going, I'll just have a glass of wine tonight because I've had a rough day.
Yeah, there was probably a little bit of that in lockdown 1.0. I probably wasn't as bad as you. I think I'll try and stick to Friday and Saturday nights only.
You wanted one to record this podcast, though.
Me?
You thought about one. So, Daddy Eats Last tradition on your first podcast, you have to have a sip of something, but we'll let you off.
I'm more inclined to have something sweet, especially midweek. Lucky we bought a block of chocolate the other day. Did we only buy one?
Well, I told you to buy more than one, but you only bought one.
Yeah. I obviously wasn't foreseeing stage 4 restrictions.
Well, I'm not sure. We obviously haven't been in the supermarkets today, but I can only imagine they've just been stripped bare of all meat, pasta, rice, and anything which people can cook. Because apparently last time people had stripped out all the pasta but had left the lentil-based pasta, which is still pasta, and you cook the same way. So anything which is a little bit out of the ordinary, people don't tend to buy because they don't seem to be able to cook it for some reason. But I can imagine that the supermarkets have already been stripped bare, and there's probably a lack of toilet paper everywhere again.
I think I saw some photos of people lining up at Costco or something in the city today, and the queues were huge, and people were, walking out with trolleys overflowing with stuff. So,
but it's the important thing to remember: supermarkets are still open. bottle shops are still going to be open. Like if it does end up tracking the sort of COVID cases and it is increasing in version 3.0, the bottle shops will still be open.
Well, we've also decided that maybe we'll have like a couple of treat lunches a week. By treat lunches, like takeaway lunches.
Contactless, of course.
Contactless.
Yeah. That counts as your activity as well. So if you've gone out for exercise, you can go out once for shopping. So that counts
once in the household. So you or I can go to the shop. So
and that's it.
Yeah. So if we go and get lunch and pick up lunch, then we can't go and get decide we need
milk or
something from the supermarket on the same day.
Got to be very organised. Hence why we've got this gigantic list of things.
So, yeah, we're thinking of maybe, at least once a week, which we've kind of been doing once a week, like takeaway lunch, generally sushi or noodles or, there's a little Asian place around the corner that does stir fries and stuff, or like a bakery lunch or something. We haven't done any other grand things, but anyway.
We're not very elaborate, to be honest.
No. Yeah, so we'll probably continue that. And then our Saturday night or Friday night, depending on what it is, takeaway dinner, biggest decision of the week.
It takes, honestly, some weeks it takes hours. Like it's literally, like we were looking at a couple.
Hey, you've got to have something to look forward to.
Yeah, seriously. Sometimes I'm like, surely we can just make a decision on what to eat, which doesn't take hours upon hours.
Yesterday I was decisive. When you said Greek, I was like, yep. I'd forgotten about it.
I was decisive because I suggested it?
Yeah, but I was like, yep. And
So it's agreeance, really, isn't it?
And then I said, you can order.
Yeah, that's true. I used to work in a Greek restaurant back in the day, so I know enough about the Greek, a Greek menu to know what to pick and maybe what not to pick. Try not to pick the seafood. Just a hot tip, or maybe an off tip. The other thing we were talking about was, obviously the little fella. We're lucky again. He stays in bed when he wakes up. So yesterday when he got up, or Saturday when he got up at 5:30, he still stayed in bed till 7. Like he didn't get up. He wasn't doing puzzles. He didn't turn his light on. He didn't call out for us. He stays in bed happily enough until we go in and fetch him, or until his little clock turns yellow. But still, 7 till 7 every day, he'll be awake apart from an hour in the middle of the day. So something else we'd flagged is maybe going to bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I think lockdown 1.0 struggled through the week a bit, to be honest.
Your nana naps kind of mapped the COVID cases well. My booze intake and your nana naps both were kind of going up.
So I kind of suggested this afternoon that maybe we should go to bed at like 9 o'clock every night, 9:30 at the latest, no sort of 10:30 kind of scenario, because I think for all the parents out there, you can probably hear me when I say this, like you need all the patience in the world to get through a day. And if I have to be 1 minute a pirate on a pirate ship,
and then a dinosaur.
And then Anna from Frozen, and he's Elsa.
And then a bunyip.
Yeah, and then I don't know.
Vader.
Yeah.
Then you go sit down and do Lego.
I'm going to need a lot of sleep. Because I can only have 1 coffee a day because my body does not agree with any more. So lockdown 1.0, I probably had 2 coffees a day, which didn't go well for me. So I'm at 1 coffee a day. So that means I need a lot of sleep.
Yeah. Well, the flip side of that for me is like I know if I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I'll probably wake up at 3:30. Or maybe 5. Like I know I'll probably wake up just before 5 if I go to bed at 9. But that also means I can get up and do some work. And then I'll generally do exercise first thing in the morning. Like if I wake up before 5, I can't go running because it's pre-curfew, so I have to wait until 5. Because the curfew's 8 p.m. until 5 a.m, so I can't do anything between those hours. But if I wake up at 5, I'll knock out an hour of work and then do some exercise before the kid gets up at 7. So going to bed at 9, because usually I'm just sitting on the couch. I'll be honest, you're usually going through Instagram, and I'm probably on Twitter or clearing emails on the couch. So going to bed half an hour earlier or 45 minutes early is probably not going to really affect much.
I think for me, just thinking about if I'm going to go to bed at 9 o'clock, it'll be no work after dinner because I find it really hard to switch off.
You got to start your process for bed early. Yeah. If only you could see the look I just got here in the Daddy Eats Last podcast facility. But no, on work, because your work's probably important. It's an important part of what we do as well. We run a business, it's an accounting business. We've been working from home without any issue since March and before that. So it won't really stop for us. I have a lot of clients who aren't Victorian based, like a lot. Like majority of my clients probably aren't in Victoria. So they're broadly going about their business now because they can. So trying to juggle work with like a 4.5-year-old who, even if, and we generally have a roster. I say a roster, something on the fridge of who's got main custodianship of the little fella. But even with that in place, he'll always bother the other person. And he'll definitely always bother me. Like I think he's been on every Zoom call I've had since March in some form. He'll just pop in and say hello and walk back out. But trying to juggle the work thing with the looking after him thing, with the chores around the house and everything which goes with adulting, I think is going to be the challenge.
Cleaning the house. Fun times.
Well, plus, because he doesn't like the vacuum.
Yeah, so we have a cleaner. We're very fortunate to have a cleaner who comes once a week.
They didn't come during 1.0.
No, we cancelled them for 1.0 and it was not fun cleaning the house on top of everything else.
It's not really the cleaning the house itself.
It's trying to entertain him.
Well, he doesn't like the vacuum.
No, he's scared of the vacuum.
He's like a dog. Like you put the vacuum near him, he like runs off. Apart from the time I got him to vacuum.
Oh, yeah, and then he tried to help, which it wasn't really helping.
But that week he helped vacuum. And then the week after, again, he was back to, I don't like the vacuum.
Yeah.
Even though he was like, dude, last week you helped vacuum.
And we have the kid that doesn't like movies. So it's not like we can just put on a movie for an hour and a half and go, here, mate, watch a movie. We'll just go clean the house.
What?
He doesn't like movies, so because they're all too scary. So all we get is about, 23 minutes of Paw Patrol.
The movie thing's just mind-boggling. I watch the Paw Patrol movie. I do not like the Paw Patrol movie. But you like Paw Patrol.
Oh, no, he'll watch that.
No, he didn't know. Even the Paw Patrol movie, which was 45 minutes, he was like, I don't want to watch that. I just want to watch normal Paw Patrol. So, yeah, I think it's just everything. That's going to be the hard bit, just combining everything. And without having that,
And you've already told me that I have to lower my expectations with the cleanliness of the house.
Yes, and tidiness.
Yeah, so for anyone who knows me out there, I'm a bit of a clean freak and I like everything neat and tidy.
Tidy and neat?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Ben. So, oh my God.
Yeah,
Lockdown 1.0, the house looked like a flippin' bomb site. And I think it's just my mentality that I just like things neat and tidy and I feel more in control. And so, oh man.
They say that cleanliness is next to godliness, don't they? I think that's a saying, cleanliness is next to godliness, or that was a Godfrey ad, but we're not a religious household, so get over it. But in all seriousness, that's the challenge, though, isn't it? The challenge is going to be combining all of this stuff into a day-by-day basis, and we're pretty good at touching base at the end of a day or a week and go, okay, what have you got on? If you've got work on, if I've got work on, how do we work around what's going on, and how we're going to get all the stuff done, and who's looking after the kids? So we have a kind of a roster, don't we?
Yeah, which we were discussing this afternoon, but we haven't finalised it yet. Generally speaking, it works well if you take him from 7 till 9.
I'm a bit more of a morning person.
I'm not great in the morning. And if I get up and do my exercise and then have a shower, it means, just one shower and then I'm ready for the day.
You don't
and
need
I've
to have
done
a shower
some.
now you're seeing anyone.
It's just general
hygiene,
I think. And then I was often doing, I don't know, we broke it down into smaller chunks last time, but maybe we'll do bigger chunks. We kind of did, 2-hour blocks or something, but it was a bit bitsy, to be honest. So I kind of floated what I do, sort of 9 till 1, 4 days or something, and then you do sort of 1 till he normally has a nap about 1:45. You'd read some books with him until 1:45.
Because I do lunch rest.
Yeah, because he likes me to put him to bed at night. And, yeah, so Kane does reads him books and stuff, puts him to bed for his nap, which is now a lie down, or a rest, whichever way you'd like to put it. And then he normally gets up at about 3:15, and then I guess I might have him most afternoons, and then you might have him one afternoon or something. And
I think one thing we might do this time around, and it's not something we've actually discussed, so I'm just going to pop it out on Daddy Eats Last. There's going to be days, right? There's going to be days when, if this is going for 6 weeks, that there's going to be days where you're going to feel like, I just can't be bothered today, or I'm going to feel like I just can't be bothered today. And without taking the mickey about it, and just like every day, I just can't be bothered, having to put up with being Elsa and then a bunyip and being that. Just be able to say, you get up in the morning, just go, listen, can you just do the morning? Because I can't be Elsa again.
Yeah, I think we've probably got to be a bit flexible. But
which we're lucky. We're really lucky, and we can be somewhat flexible. Like, because of what we do, we can. I've been open. I have a work-life blend. My life and my work kind of blend together over a really long period of the day. So it doesn't really matter what I do during the day, as long as at some point I get some time to do work, be it at 5 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night. It doesn't really make much difference to me.
But if we're going to bed at 9 o'clock, you probably have to have switched off at 8 o'clock.
I could switch off at 8:45 and still be in bed asleep before you, couldn't I?
Probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be honest though, I need to be doing the lion's share of the kid stuff, because you have a lot more client work to do, whether you want to admit it or not. Kane likes to try and do everything.
It's just what's fair, isn't it? And it is actually nice spending time with our kid. Like, it's not it's not like I'm going, I'm trying to avoid it because I want to do work. Like, I still want to. There's a roster because I want to have a morning with him, or a morning or two with him, because it's fun.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about maybe Wednesday morning in the middle of the week, because I like to do my Zoom bar class, which is...
Well, ScoMo doesn't know what it is, but you know what it is.
Yeah. Bar A, ScoMo. So that's at 9 o'clock or something. So, and then it kind of breaks up the week for me and you as well. So it's not like work every day. And it breaks it up for the little man, because he will want time with you as well. So you can wrestle on the ground.
Lots of good wrestle.
Tickle. Yeah.
It's my strong suit, tickling and wrestling. That's all I got.
It's been mentioned today that maybe we should buy a cubby house. We were going to wait and get it for him for his birthday, which is January.
Do you listen to Daddy Eats Last? You listen to Daddy Eats Last a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, we should get Matthew to make it.
Yeah, you can post it down in parts. But yeah, I think what we have to be, and what every parent has to be over the next 6 weeks, is flexible and adaptable. Not kind of get stuck in your ways and stuck with this is what we're going to do. Just be a little bit flexible, a little bit adaptable in the way we approach parenting, because it's going to be a long 6 weeks if we don't.
And I think, we've all got to remember, the kids aren't going to fall behind, as, people keep saying, our little man isn't at school, so there's kind of not that expectation, but he's still there's still, I guess, milestones to, tick off, and we have a parent-teacher interview on Wednesday.
Yeah, first one.
Yeah. This just got all real. So it doesn't matter, really. I think I got probably a bit hung up with all that stuff in lockdown 1.0. People were doing, other friends were doing, letter of the day and number of the day and all this stuff. And whereas our little man Saturday morning just was practicing handwriting, a couple of letters, he just decided he was going to do it.
That was after playing guitar and after dancing and after being Darth Vader at one point. So,
So the kids will be fine. I don't think none of us need to get stressed about that. Like, even though it's really, really easy too, I think.
Yeah. The kids are all right. I think it's a very good place to finish up Daddy Eats Last tonight. Thank you very much for being my guest.
No worries. It was a pleasure to finally make it on after 101 episodes, 102.
This is 102nd, so it's only taken you this long to actually get on.
Finally.
But yeah, thank you for listening. And if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to Daddy Eats Last on iTunes or anywhere or everywhere that you listen to your podcasts. Also, tell your mates about the podcast if you haven't done so already. We're back next week for another episode. So until then, stay safe. And if you're in Melbourne, stay sane. See you next week.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.